Exactly 4 players. It's 2 players out of the travelling party, and we had 23 players. And I think travelling with 2 less players because we have 1 game, I think we have enough cover in all areas. Injuries is part of sport, and it's unfortunate with Bambanani and Tiseto, but that is life. And all we have to do is just to support them. And with the game itself, you cannot control when players get injured, but you can only try and help, when they do get injured, to assist them in getting better or healing quicker.
What are the injuries, coach? Sorry, and just how long will they be out for?
Well, Bambanani and Tisetso had illnesses to close family members. Tabi Singh picked up an ankle injury, and the estimated time is between 2 to 3 weeks.
And coach, how disruptive are this to your planning going to Serbia?
Look, not too much though, because it's part of the game being injured. It's part of the game when there's, when there's personal challenges. We just have to move on. And I think now you get a chance to really test your depth, or really test the players that you have. And I think that makes the team stronger. I think because players have to step up, and because it's being World Cup year, you have some players who have personal trainers to work both technically and on their physicality. And it shows how serious players are about making the squad. So, this is another opportunity for players to raise their hands, because we've always said that we need to also test other players, and it's important that other players get a little bit more game time to see, what they can give us before we make the final decision about selections.
There's some new faces around, the new inverted commas. How have they?
Look, when we had the withdrawals at the beginning of Mokolang, Asanda, as well as who's the other one, third one. I'll get to a name now. When we had those withdrawals, we obviously thought about bringing players that have played well in the league. Nicole Michael has come in, and you saw the weekend. After being in camp, she scores a hat trick. You also look at Katlego, after being in camp, had a fantastic outing. Against Mamelodi Sundowns. So Melinda's the other one, by the way, that picked up an injury when she played. So I think bringing in those young players also gives them an opportunity to be part of the national team. And we actually had one player coming in saying this is a totally different level. So now she goes back with a different mindset, saying that I need to work a little bit harder, or I need to be a little bit better. I need to work on my intensity, because with the Hollywood bets and with the national team, there is a difference when the intensity goes up. So I think that has really helped, bringing in those players just to make sure, that we give them a taste of what it is like to be in the national team. And some of them have really surprised us the way they've come in. Didn't look out of place in any way, because, when you're young, you're enthusiastic, you come in, you show everything, and they did really well.
What are you expecting from Serbia?
Look, Serbia is physically strong. That's something similar to what you're going to get from Italy, something similar to what you're going to get from Sweden, and a little bit, Argentina can be physical as well. They also have wing play, which Sweden plays with. They have really good strikers, really quick ones, and very organized, and it's not easy to beat a team like Germany in a qualifier. Also recently, losing and beating Russia was a little bit higher ranked than them. So we're looking at now what we've trained this week, working on our defensive organization, working on our attacking structure. We're looking to see where we're at in terms of that, because it's going to take a little while, and that's why we started already looking at how we're going to play, especially in the first game. We know we're not going to have a lot of the ball, and we might not have a lot of the ball against Serbia. So we're looking to see how we can play without the ball, and when we do get the ball, that's when we need to make sure, that we found our players in the transition, because a lot of our goals has been scored on transition, but we need to be better, because sometimes when the pressure's on, we give the ball away immediately. So we've got to be better in that. So they will really test us in terms of that, for us to see what we still need to work on. But this 2 weeks has been really good, working with a local group of players. They've come back better, as I said, and really, not just doing it on the field, but also doing the analysis, going back to the training session, showing what was good and what was not so good. And we need to be concentrated, not just for 90 minutes, but for the duration until the final whistle blows.
Coach, tell us about the arrival of Shelin and Shoti to your technical team. I mean, what is it that they bring to this technical team that you thought was lacking, if there was any, for the?
Look, it's always good to have more hands on board, because we saw at the World Cup, you had the one coach sitting in front of a monitor You had the goalkeeper coach making the substitutes, and I mean that's too little to work with, you know. So you can have one working on attacking, one working on defending. Sometimes I'm in there because I'm in there. I don't see all of it, so I can actually stand when you're busy with the, you know, the little pieces leading up to the tactical session. I can have a really good look and go in and stop here and stop there. Shalene, because of her analysis background as well, tactically helping with that. Instead of me getting the teams and the information, she's busy doing all of that along with Mpo, who's the analyst. So having more hands on board and having a little bit more input, because it's 2 or 3 people, but you have input and everybody obviously looks at the game differently. That has really, really helped us.
And then I know your door is not always closed for any player, but you know, coming to Banyana Camp these days, there's one landmark missing, Janine van Wyk.
Look, we know what Janine can do, but we also need to give others an opportunity to make sure that when we make that final decision, that we have really exhausted all the avenues that we wanted to do. I had a look at each and every player. I mean, Ramalep is not here either. She's just recently started playing. So we need to look at others and, you know, make sure that when we select the squad, that we have a squad for every eventuality. Make sure that, you know, we've got the right mix of youth and experience, and that is really important for us.
Coach, maybe lastly, touching base on the issue of the extended technical team, we're obviously trying to sort of meet up with the latest demands of international football. That you know, the Paris coach the other day said that we are going in the direction where you're going to have more technical team members than the players. Is that the direction that you're also embracing in women's football?
Look, I think it was important that we strengthened the technical team. You know, just having 2 people work, you know, it's not where we want to be. And I think, like I said, you know, having more inputs, having more, I won't say debates, but discussions on how to do things really opened your mind, really assist where you can, because the experience that we brought in from both Shalid and as well as Coach Shorty has really helped us in that essence. I'm not so into the field all the time like I used to be. I can stand from a distance and actually look and then go in. Otherwise, I'm in the game, and only afterwards, when I get back to the hotel, I then look at the footage, and then we sit as a group and we see how we can rectify it. Now, just being on the outside, I can actually do that immediately, and the inputs that they've given is invaluable. You know, that you cannot buy. Like I said earlier, Coach Alina's already got so much information on all the teams that we're playing. I would not have been able to do all of that at this stage, but she's already sitting one side, sitting with the analysts, also making clips, etc. And that has really, really helped us. Coach Shorty, as a defender, has come in with the knowledge that she has and really assisted us. We can have more one-on-ones with players now because we have more hands. Normally, you'd say you're going to do one-on-ones with the whole group. By the time the camp is over, you haven't done one-on-ones with everybody. So now you can actually sit and give personal interaction to each and every person, a player in the team.
Coach,